Dan, good afternoon.
Hello.
How's it going?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm excited because today is the first edition of the Etch weekly live show. Maybe the last edition as well, you never know. We'll see how this goes. But today we're going to be talking about industry news, we're going to be showing you some gameplay of Spiritfarer coming up in a bit. But first, I wanted to go through all the latest news with you, kind of like a podcast, but in video form. It's a vodcast, I guess. So yeah, we're going to talk about some news stories. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds very exciting.
Cool. Okay. News story number one. You may have missed this. It happened just recently. Nvidia have announced the Geforce RTX 30 series. So that's the 3070, 3080, 3090. They're graphics cards, by all means very powerful ones. They're describing this as the generational leap, I guess. So this is them coming out swinging against AMD potentially. They're touting 2x performance over current top cards on the market, and potentially 8K 60 FPS, which is not a thing that anyone really has in their house at the minute anyway. But interesting kind of development. There's always that kind of, I guess, push-pull between when there's new consoles coming out. It's like, how long before these are not irrelevant, but behind PC again from a tech perspective? And this announcement maybe puts it quite soon. Have you had a chance to look at these? Have you seen any of the story about this?
Yeah, I've kind of, it's been on my radar, and I've seen a lot of people hyped about it, and I've seen some interesting reactions from the lower price ends. Seem quite approachable, and some perhaps eye-watering numbers at the higher price ends for the top tier. So yeah, it is always an interesting time when a new generation of graphics cards come around. It's almost like they've got every generation just in their back pocket, just as you're sort of getting comfortable with all the money that you spent last time. They bring out a new one that you must have and is much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, these do look good. I can feel my wallet getting nervous already.
Yeah, everyone out there who bought the 2080 is like weeping on Twitter right now. It's interesting you mentioned the price because yeah, so the 3090 is ludicrously expensive, kind of bordering on Titan territory in terms of the amount of costs. The others are a bit more reasonable, and we still don't know actually how much next-gen consoles are going to cost. I mean, it's September 3rd, and we have some idea, but we have very little idea how much a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X is going to cost. PlayStation 5, you can even sign up to pre-order. The Xbox Series S isn't even officially announced, but it's showing up in box art and on Game Pass codes and everywhere, and they just refuse to confirm that it even exists. But yeah, we still have no prices for any of these next-gen consoles. It seems like a really crazy launch.
There seems to be a kind of a standoff between Microsoft and Sony. I guess they've both kind of got their minimums that they're going to go to, but they'll wait for the other one to show their hand. I mean, I'm not a price announce expert, but it certainly feels like this is being dragged out a lot longer than we would expect. People are planning. They're obviously going to launch for Christmas, and the lists are being written now as to what people want, and I can imagine many people are starting to wonder themselves where they're going to land. I don't know how. I'd be interested to know some insights in between like how much of a decision maker graphics cards are. My kind of gut feel is that you have people who are PC gamers and less concerned about new generation consoles. But yeah, certainly not an authority on that observation.
We do have not news as such, but a kind of a rumour coming out in this last week about the PlayStation 5 release date. So I think we've known for a while, or we've known for certain in Microsoft's case, and been suspicious in Sony's case that November seems like the time they'd both be released. And I'd mentioned some of the Xbox Series S showing up on some marketing material. All of that stuff has, been sent to retailers in the US like Best Buy and Walmart, and some of those have had notes on them that say do not display until November 6th, so potentially hinting at November 6th launch week for the Xbox. And just this last week, Video Games Chronicle, who are affiliated with Eurogamer, they've made a claim, which I think is backed up, that Sony have planned big media marketing spend for the week beginning November 13th. So That could be that's the week they're going to release it, or it could be that's the start of a marketing push which culminates in the release of the PlayStation 5. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a bit of both and it was somewhere in the middle. But a bit of a narrow window, or a narrower window at least, on when we're going to get our hands on some of these things is starting to emerge.
Yeah, for sure. And where's your hypothetical purchase going at the moment?
Neither. I think think it's crazy to say. I mean, I want to want them. I want to be excited. But I think at the minute there's nothing compelling enough for me to pull the trigger this year. If I got one, it would be purely for work. I'd be justifying it as a expense to be able to do more content with Etch Play or that sort of thing. I think the PlayStation 5 has definitely shown a stronger lineup of games, even though Deathloop's now been delayed as well. They at least have the Spider-Man Miles Morales, whatever that thing is, expansion, DLC, somewhere in between the two. They have a upscaled or improved version of Bugsnax, which obviously Game of the Year right there. So PlayStation 5 definitely has more going for it in the games kind of things. But I think like you, I'm a big believer in Game Pass. I think Game Pass is the future of where this industry is going in terms of consumption. The Netflixification of every medium, or the Spotification of every medium continues. And then we can talk about Halo, because obviously that was delayed recently, and that's obviously a really big tentpole title for Microsoft and a real blow to their launch plans. They announced just this last week that Joe Staten, one of the architects of the original Halo franchise, is coming back, returning to Halo and joining 343 for this kind of home stretch that they've talked about in trying to get Halo ready for launch. What's interesting about that is that obviously we know it was delayed, we didn't know by how much. Bringing in somebody like this at this stage of development does kind of imply that it's maybe a little bit further away than everyone initially assumed. It seems like it's probably not going to come out Q1 2021 at this point. It seems like it's definitely going to be maybe pushed a whole year to next holiday. Did you have a chance to look at that?
I didn't know that, but yeah, that is very interesting because you would wonder how much impact something could have. It's something that was penned to effectively be launching imminently. So yeah, maybe they want to launch it right rather than ASAP, which is always a good move.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That has such a big impact on the Xbox launch prowess. So yeah, I think the whole pandemic situation has definitely had a notable impact on production. I think, as we noted in our business briefing email that we send out, the momentum towards engagement with games has skyrocketed, but the ability to get the games launched has been severely stifled by the current situation. So yeah, it's certainly interesting seeing that now sort of being pushed into the impact on actual hardware releases as well.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning what Joe's been up to since he left Bungie. He's kind of been working for Microsoft as a fixer. They've been kind of dropping him into various projects and getting them over the line, so there are multiple ways you could read that. I think he's just helped launch Tell Me Why, which launched just this last week, 27th on Game Pass. But yeah, you'd think, if it was coming out soon, there wouldn't be that much for him to do. So to bring in someone like that, you imagine there must be at least some significant runway for him to make an impact.
I mean, he may have been involved for longer already, perhaps, and they've just used this as a good cue to kind of make a song and dance about it.
So, hey, look who's here! It's Joe, he's been here the whole time. Any news segment, unfortunately, at the minute about games, it would not be complete without the latest installment of the Apple versus Epic saga, and I have an update for you if you've missed this in the news. So the latest is that Apple have banned Epic's account on the App Store. So previously, for anyone who's not aware, Fortnite was removed from the iOS App Store and actually the Google Play App Store, but we'll focus on iOS for the time being, for introducing payments that skirted Apple's 30% iOS charge fee that Epic feels is unfair. Since then, there's been a relatively public spat between the two. definitely in Epic's case, maybe weaponizing some of their younger fans with some online marketing, which is quite a strange way to go about a lawsuit compared to lawsuits of years old. But a judge did rule slightly in Epic's favour to say that Apple couldn't take punitive action against the Unreal Engine. So anyone who's using the Unreal Engine, which is obviously thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of games probably on iOS that use Unreal, are protected. They can't be removed from the store because of Epic's transgressions. What Apple can do is remove anything else made specifically by Epic. So this would affect things like Infinity Blade or any other Epic apps besides Fortnite are now also banned alongside Fortnite. Do you have any additional thoughts on this? I mean, it feels like something that we're going to be hearing about for a long time.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, there is going to be a long ripple implication of this. This is going to set precedent potentially. If rulings go in Epic's favour, this is certainly not the only, I guess, kind of service or platform of this type that would stand to push against the. I mean, the whole, I guess, gist of this is contesting the 30% stake that Apple take in everything that's sold through the iOS platform. If this ruling does go in Epic's favour, then that's going to open the floodgates to a lot more similar conversations and legal battles. But sort of focusing on Epic specifically, or even Fortnite specifically, you already touched on this. Like, the immediate concern was, what's the impact on every developer using Unreal, which is the platform that Fortnite is developed on and is owned by Epic. That's been safeguarded, as you said, which is perhaps a relief, or at least momentary respite for that concern. But the biggest impact really is on the players, and that's perhaps these are multi-billion-dollar organizations taking chunks out of each other, and those who are going to be affected the most are those with the absolute least skin in the game and the least to benefit from any outcome. So it's a shame that these kind of these battles impact so many hundreds of thousands. There's, as I understand it, I don't know if that's changed actually. If you had Fortnite already on your iOS device or your Android device, you could still play it, but anybody new trying to engage with this won't be able to get access to it, and that's a shame.
I think that's going to stop being true because, at least as I understand it, I think the new season's launching and that requires an update which you won't be able to get on iOS. So you still have the game installed, but it just won't work anymore, I think, either now or in the very near future.
It's definitely interesting, and it's also a little bit uncomfortable seeing, like you say, kind of weaponizing this fan base, and it's it really is playing a long game. There is such a huge, however many hundreds of millions, possibly billions of Fortnite players out there, and a large segment of that will be young people, perhaps even people pre-decision-making age on which platform or which devices they want to own. So you're playing a long game by turning them against such a established organisation as Apple. But it's certainly interesting times, that's for sure.
Yeah, and lots more legal battles to come, I'm sure. Lots more courtroom drama. Do you know people have been streaming that? Like, you're not legally allowed to. You can join a Zoom room. You can walk into a courtroom in America and you can watch proceedings. You can join a Zoom room, which is the remote equivalent, and you're not supposed to record it in any form. People are just putting that straight on YouTube. Like, I feel like you're going to get in trouble at some point.
I think it was it the Champions League or some a football game or something, when there was that streamer who sat there streaming it, but holding his controller like he was playing it. You can imagine somebody doing the same with the Apple v Epic courtroom proceedings. The game just
they're playing Phoenix Wright. So you can't prove otherwise. One last bit of news then. This happened literally just a little bit before we started going live today. There was just a Nintendo Direct, all about Mario a few minutes ago. There was a lot of things announced. I don't even know where to start. All sorts of remasters and re-releases of classic Mario games. But I guess the big two things they announced are, one, there's a Mario Battle Royale now. It's called Super Mario Brothers 35, and it's 35 people. It's very similar to Tetris 99. So you're playing the original Super Mario Brothers against 35 other people or 34 other people. And when you kill enemies, like you jump on a Goomba, it sends that enemy to somebody else, and it appears in their version of the game, which is I mean, definitely want to play that. Also, in the slightly more zany Nintendo-esque end of the spectrum, they've announced that Augmented Reality Mario Kart. Did you see this?
I didn't. I saw the conversation around it.
I've sprung this on you.
Yeah. What is Augmented Reality Mario Kart?
So
I'm interested.
the game seems to come with, well, I guess the game comes with one, or you can buy more. Comes with a remote control car, remote control Mario driving his Mario Kart, with a camera on it, and you drive that around your house, but you watch the camera feed. A physical toy that you drive around your house, but you watch the camera feed through your Switch, and the camera feed has augmented reality features, so it overlays, the item boxes you can drive through, you collect items, overlays other players who aren't physically there in your actual house, overlays finish lines, all that kind of stuff. I think you actually get some kit, it looks like, to build a basic track as well with it. So yeah, you get to build a physical track out of things in your home, and then drive around it. Seems to support multiplayer as well, like they showed somebody coming over with a Luigi kart. I feel like if you're going to buy all these karts, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But yeah, it's almost like a Nintendo, like that cardboard stuff they did. They just let's just make something you can play with in real life as well as the game, which is a really interesting move. Maybe not the Mario Kart 10 or whatever it is they should have released that everyone would have been hoping for, but it's definitely an interesting move.
But yeah, it's a very Nintendo move, isn't it? And I do. That is that kind of idea that when you're at school, you're like, oh, wouldn't it be great if? And you kind of come up with this crazy, impossible thing. And then, of course, Nintendo go around and make it a reality. Yeah, that should be really interesting. I guess that does have a requirement for a large space.
Yes, yeah. The house in the advert is huge. Well. This like classic American sitcom house. It's just massive. So much floor space. There's no pets. So yeah, maybe not one for everyone, for every household, but there's going to be some pretty good YouTube videos out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, a good way to get the kids to tidy up, perhaps, is you can play Mario Kart when you put everything else away. Yeah,
that is a good point. Well, thanks for joining me for the news, Dan. I think that brings us to the end of the news segment. I'm going to throw it to some Spiritfarer. This is a pre-recorded segment. I checked out Spiritfarer by Thunder Lotus. It's a really fascinating and beautiful game, so I want to share that with you. We're going to switch to that now, and I'll be back afterwards with Ben Joy to talk about Fall Guys and Twitch. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Spiritfarer. I'm on a boat. There's more to the game than that. Essentially, I've been tasked with helping to ferry the dead, ferry the souls of recently departed people to the afterlife. In order to do so, I run a ship. I manage the ship, I maintain the ship, and I gather people who have unfortunately passed, such as this dear person. She's a friend of mine. I can talk to her, I can give her food, or I can offer her a hug. I think actually she won't accept a hug at the minute. No, she's not keen on hugging. We can talk. This game is on Game Pass. I'm playing it here on PC with an Xbox controller. You can actually do local co-op. The second player can play as the cat, which is, I mean, that's an interesting way of doing it. This game is charming. It's I don't know how to describe it. Kind of a management type thing, really, where you're trying to just balance all these different priorities. So you're balancing keeping people fed, collecting resources, cooking. Let's do some cooking. Go in here and I can cook. Let's cook. What should we cook? Cook some popcorn. It's quite a quick recipe to do. Looks like dear lady wants to talk to me. I forgot to tell you about this. Okay. There we go, it's night time. Probably time to go to sleep. This is the bell she was talking about, I can ring that. In here, I'll show you, I've got my navigation system, which I can't use at the minute. I'll show you that when I wake up. Let's go to sleep, I guess. What she was talking about? Sleep until morning. Yes. Have a little hug with the cat. And see what a new day brings. You'll notice there's a lot of space on my boat currently, because I'm not built very much so far in this save. I've only built the kitchen, but I'm intending to build, and I'm hoping I get to show you that here. Collect some more resources. I want to build a little garden, start growing some crops. Press LB to toggle the clock and trajectory. Okay, I want those on. Time to set a course. Okay, so we can go and get these resources, seed, treasures, wood and ores, or we can head towards Mostine Cove. This is actually where Stella wants us to go. I think we should go here first though, let's go here, this seems closer. Let's go there. Right, it's early morning. Let's see if Stella wants to be woken up by the bell. Good morning. Oh, I'm Stella. Let's see if I can't remember what this dear lady's name is. How's it going? Something's happened. What's happening? What's this? Ooh. Okay. Oh, is there stuff here? It is where it's silvery. Sweet. Some limestone. Shells on the boat, let's get rid of those. Barnacles. Yeah, this game is it's really sweet. The boat stops moving if I fall off, so or if I jump off, so I can always do whatever I want really, in the grand scheme of things. Let's have a look and see if that limestone gives us time to build something actually. That might be enough. So I'm going to build mode here. Okay, I've only got one limestone, so I need a bit more to build a field, or some lightning in a bottle to build a garden. Can't collect any of this wood. Like it. I love the way the cat just like rolls on the ball. Hello. Not what I want to do. Do you want some food, by the way? You can have some fish. She likes the fish. I'll just leave her eating that. It's going to set a new course, because I think that's what we were gunning for. Yes, it was. Let's go over here to this new cove. See what that brings. You can easily spend a lot of time in this game just relaxing. Let's get those shells. I don't like my boat to be covered with barnacles. Reach it. Okay. I'll leave that one. Check her mood. Every character you get on your boat, and I've only got one at the minute, has a mood, and you can see what things they like and don't like based on what you do for them. Gwen, that's her name. Gwen's quite picky. Doesn't like getting the same food twice. I can always come back here and fish. Let's hopefully get up fish. Fishing's just a matter of waiting for the bait to be taken and then reeling in. Seems pretty easy so far. Just a bit more fishing. An old shoe. Stella was more excited about getting an old shoe than I am. Let's ooh. I can cook the mussels. Okay, let's cook a mussel. Not done that yet. So you see the timer next to it there. You just got to wait for that to be done, basically. And I can actually leave and go and do other things in the meantime. If I leave it too long, it will burn. Yeah, sailing the high seas of the afterlife. Just cove discovered. Still got half the time left on that. Probably got time to have a chat with Gwen. Hop on that island over there. Maybe we'll find something interesting. That sounds good. Let's just wait for my mussels to be done. Don't want to burn the ship down. Ding. Steamed shellfish. Maybe one of the recipe to use when Gwen's hungry. Okay, so to go ashore you have to jump in your little rowboat, which we have over here. Oh, Gwen's coming with us. Cool. Let's do it. The animation in this is just fantastic. It's really good. What a majestic tree. Okay, I'm using the thumbstick to chop down a tree. Nearly. There we go. Got all those sweet logs. Some berries. More berries. What's up, Gwen? Okey-doke. More trees. So yeah, if you're into Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, like those sorts of kind of quaint, casual resource management type things, this is well worth your time. It's really, really enjoyable. Okay. Okay, I didn't do that very well. release it. I should have known that. Okay, here we go. Boom! Look at all that limestone. That's just what I need to make my farming dreams a reality. Okay. That's the end of the cove, so we can head back. Lost the cat somewhere. Hi. There we go. More games should have a hugging mechanic. Should be able to hug whoever I want, whenever I want. It's the game of fantasy I want to live. Okay. We can do some building. We can't build a garden, but we can build a field, which is like a garden. Boom. Yeah, Gwen's coming to check it out. She's impressed. Okay, so we need to get some seeds to plant in the field. I do have some seeds. Just not things that... Oh, okay, we can do some coffee beans. Okay, let's do some linen. And some coffee beans. Some watering. And some watering. This is Spiritfarer. Yeah, like I say, it's totally charming, totally worth your time, especially if you've got Game Passes. I mean, with Game Pass, it's just free to play this. Even if it's not free for you, I recommend it. If you're looking for something relaxing and methodical, really, really charming game that you can play at your leisure. Thanks for checking out with me, and we'll see you again soon on a future Edge Play video. Adam out. That was Spiritfarer, and I'm back. This is the Etch Play Weekly Live Show, Episode 1, and I'm joined now by Ben Joy. Hello, Ben.
Hello, how you doing?
Welcome to the show. I'm good, I'm good. So we're gonna, well, I'm gonna watch some Fall Guys while I'm chatting to you. Not that I'm bored by what you're saying, but we're gonna be talking a bit about Fall Guys, the smash indie hit of the summer. Is it indie? I guess yeah, it's Devolver. They're kind of indie.
Yeah, it's indie.
Indie enough. And we're going to be talking about the Business Briefing X Gaming, which is an article coming your way tomorrow. If you've not read a Business Briefing before, basically it's something that our parent company, Etch, do, and they put together some insights about how to cope with the world as it currently is. And we're taking over this week. We've done before, we're taking over again. This time we're talking all about the power of Twitch, and I brought Ben on because he wrote the article, which you can read tomorrow. But we're going to do a little sneak preview. Sneak preview? Yeah, that was a mix of preview and peek, and I totally messed it up. I didn't get either word correct. So what I want to do is ask you some questions, and yeah, if you like the sound of any of this, check out the article tomorrow, because you'll be able to read it in more detail. So I've read the article. I'm privileged. I've had a sneak peek, and one of the games you mention is is Fall Guys, which we're looking at here. It's a great fun game for up to 60 players to engage in obstacle course mayhem. It's done really well, particularly on Twitch, which is one of the reasons that you mentioned it in the article. So why do you think Fall Guys' Twitch strategy has been so successful?
It's clear they put a lot of thought into it, and I think that's the thing with Twitch. It is massive and it has massive potential. but you need to think about it. It's not a throw it on Twitch and it's going to work. I think what they made it really, really accessible as well. It's, you know, there are things that work really well on Twitch, like Valorant did it, but they had kind of rules around it. They were more using a proper drop system where Fall Guys didn't really use an official drop system. They kind of had a sign up process, and what they did was they distributed keys to some high, well-known streamers to start playing the game, and it kind of picked up momentum from there. And they kept announcing that they were going to release more keys and where to go and sign up, and people were clamoring to watch the streamers to find out where they went and how to get the keys. So it was really, really accessible. Like Valorant, there were rules around like you had to watch a stream for like 2 hours to get a key, so you had to put a little bit more work in, and it worked really well for them. So that's not that doesn't work, but Fall Guys was really, really accessible. And I think what was important as well is they put a lot of work up front. It didn't just happen. They didn't just go, oh, let's put it on Twitch the weekend before we launch in an open beta and people will play it. You know, it had the Devolver factor. It's picked up by a really cool publisher that people take note of. I think the community management has been brilliant throughout. They've said that they haven't put a lot of money into marketing. I mean, they said they did no marketing, which I'm not sure is strictly true. I feel like they must have put a little bit into paid, and would have been the push from Devolver. But you know, it was all culminating to like this perfect storm of once it got to Twitch and they got it in the hands of the right streamers, which is very important. But get it in the hands of the right people, and it just snowballed from there. So, did that answer the question?
Yeah. I have to ask, have you won a game of Fall Guys yet?
Yeah, I've won loads. Yeah,
I feel like you're lying to me. I can tell you're lying to me.
I am very ashamed to admit, if anyone follows the Etch Play roundups, I've mentioned Fall Guys a couple of times, because I picked it up the day it came out, and I played it quite a lot when it first hit. I haven't played it for a couple of weeks, so that's going to be my excuse, but I'm ashamed to admit, I still haven't made a final. I have not made it.
You haven't even made the final? Okay.
I haven't made a final. I'm not very good at it.
If we talk for long enough, the viewers at home will get to see me making it to a final in some B-roll footage I shot over the weekend.
Flexing on me already. You invite me onto the show.
That's why you're here. I invited you here purely to shame you. No, I've never actually won. Other people in the team have won crowns, and they don't let us forget it. It's really hard to win. It's hard to win a game.
It is very hard.
There's a sort of aspirational quality to it, and also a slightly random quality, like playing a slot machine, so you just want to play one more game. Do you have a favourite Fall Guys game mode? Is there a specific level that you're loving? What's your favourite one?
I really like the whirly gig, which is possibly a boring answer, but
it's classic Fall Guys.
I feel like I've got that down. Like, I feel like I've got a good strategy. Like, it's one of the levels where I play it and I'm like, I am superior at this. I get to the next level and I'm gone. Like, but if whirly gig comes up, I'm like, yeah, this is me. Like, I don't want it to come up too early. If it comes round one, it's like, I probably could have got round one anyway. I want whirly gig like round 3, because then it's like, okay, now we'll push in to maybe get to that elusive final eventually. It's to round 4, but I do like the whirly gig.
Can I just clarify? So, Bedgammon in the chat has been on to say, I've still not completed Slime Climb, the one level I can't beat. Ben, me too. I can't do Slime Climb. Nobody can complete Slime Climb. It's the hardest one.
No, maybe the hardest individual. I feel like football is the hardest team game that I've come across, because I can't get that far. I've only made it to like round 4. I feel like there's quite a few levels that maybe haven't cropped up for me yet, but I feel like football is very difficult as a team game.
On the Slime Climb front, don't go and watch it now because you're watching this incredible live show with me and Ben, but after this show's over, you should go and Google this. There's a video of somebody who wins the whole game in the first round, because the first round is Slime Climb, and they're the only person who finishes.
Wow.
Which is, quite an achievement.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Is that real? Does that really happen?
Yeah, I think there were some connection issues during the... so some people just dropped out as well, but... It's possible, and I believe it. Slime Climb's hard. I've never finished it. It's so difficult. I know you hate the football, you hate the team games, but I really love Rock and Roll, the one where you got to push the ball through the obstacle course, because I like the ending when it's all downhill and everyone's like fighting over trying to keep their ball out of the goal.
No, I played that once, I've played it once, and I was enjoying it. I do quite like the team games. Football, I'm not a fan of. I do quite like the team games, and that rock and roll one. It's like I was playing it, and it was going well. We were doing great. One team was out ahead. It's like, fine, we only need to come second. It's fine. And it hadn't clocked in my brain that we're not all just trying to get the ball down as quick as possible. We're trying to stop the other team as well. And when they came across and stopped us, I lost my mind.
You
and
were
I'm glad
furious.
I was glad I was alone, because there was some choice language, and it was not my proudest moment. I was furious.
Yeah.
And
I think that's
then,
hilarious. I think that's the best bit about it. The best bit about it is when you think you're about to win, and then it turns out the whole yellow team have just abandoned their ball and come to screw you over.
Yeah. Like, ever since then, I'm like, right, I want another crack at it, because now I know what I'm doing. And I just can't. I haven't shown it. Like, I haven't actually played it for a few weeks. I went back to Leeds for a little while, and I took my controller and my laptop. I was like, I'll play a few games, and then when you're visiting family, you think, maybe I don't want them to see me in this light.
You can't bear to have your family watch you lose.
No, they're well used to that. Like, don't worry about that. They're used to that. It was the words that would have been coming out of my mouth, and then looking at why the words were coming out of my mouth. These jelly beans running around my screen. I feel like that wouldn't have been the best look. So I need to pick it back up. I do need to dive back into it.
To go back to the article briefly, it's going to be full of interesting tips, I guess, and tricks of how to get started with Twitch as a marketing platform. For those people who are too lazy to read the article, what's the advice that you would give to anyone who works at a studio who's watching this stream now? Like, they're considering Twitch, don't know where to start. What's your advice?
My advice would be to put the work in. I think it's easy to look at Twitch and see the massive potential and see the success stories, because they're out there. Fall Guys is one, Valorant is one. There's plenty of success stories on Twitch. But, that's easy. We'll just do that. And it's not as easy as that, because where Twitch is massive and it has massive potential, it's also just that. Twitch is massive. So if you don't get it right up front, you potentially are just going to get lost in the abyss. And you could put a lot of time and effort and money into it and really not see the benefits because you didn't put the legwork up front. I'm not saying that to try and scare anyone off from doing it, because the potential is massive. So just as long as you're willing to put the work in up front and find the right streamers, find where your audience are, because that's where you want to be. Again, people can fall into the trap of trying to hit, their ninjas and the Dr. Disrespect, even though he's not on Twitch anymore, but trying to hit that level of streamer, which will cost you a lot of money, and it's not necessarily going to get you the right audience. There's a lot of research that has gone into it, and like micro-influencers is the place to be for most people. And that's really anyone between like 1,000 to 10,000 followers, which is still substantial. It's not obviously the millions that some streamers have, but it's a substantial number. And if you find those right micro-influencers, right micro-streamers that have the following that's going to hit your game, they play your kind of game, they're into your kind of scene. Although you're not hitting 1 million people, you might be hitting 5,000 people, of which the vast majority are who you want to be talking to, as opposed to scattergun into 1 million people who a lot of people might not even be interested. And what you find with the micro-influencers as well is they tend to have some of them they build up a niche and they build up a following and they build up respect in that area. So if they play your game and they give it a thumbs up and they say good things about it, it's going to carry a lot more weight. Obviously you can get in front of a lot more people with bigger streamers, but it'll cost you more. And yeah, it's a good nod of approval, but if the people they're nodding it to aren't that interested, then it's not the best use of your spend. So I would just put the work in and find your area of Twitch and start trying to connect with the right people. And just not be afraid to put yourself out there. Like, Fall Guys didn't follow the drop thing like Valorant did. They opened it up and said, here it is, sign up for keys, retweet this and we'll drop more keys and we'll release more, so get on the list. And just make it really, really accessible. I think what did help Fall Guys as well, just going back to it's a very streamable game. It's very easy to watch. It's very easy to play. So that helps. So yeah, my main advice would be put the work in and find the right streamers. And the article goes into this as well. But it is easy to fall into trap of going, oh, I'm going to use Twitch as part of my marketing strategy. Let's find the influence, let's find the streamers. And you don't have to do that. You can use Twitch in the more traditional digital marketing sense. You can buy takeovers of the homepage. You can run like leaderboard ads, like the banner ads you see on websites. You can run those on Twitch, and you can run pre-roll ads. So before people join the stream, if they are in the tiers where you see ads, your ads will play. Streamers will often put ads in the middle of their streams to help boost their income. So you can run those kinds of ads. You don't have to go onto Twitch and be like, I need to find all the streamers to stream my game. You can be a lot more traditional with your marketing, so don't discount that, because Twitch is a massive home for the gaming audience, so you can find and hit your audience without having someone pick up the game and play it, so to not disregard that.
And you can check out the article tomorrow. It's the Business Briefing X Gaming. It'll be on etchuk.com. You can read all about Twitch in more detail, more of Ben's great tips, more of his insight into how Twitch runs. And yeah, thanks for joining me, Ben.
No worries, thank you for having me.
That brings us to the end of the first Etch Play weekly live show. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing with your time. Giving it to us was a good choice. And hopefully we'll see you again. The powers that be will decide whether this was a good pilot episode or not. If we get picked up for a full season, I hope so, and if so, I will see you in a future show. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.